told you, I'm a landscape gardener, but I'm a self-employed as a graphic and web designer in the 24th year now. And so I started with editing homepages myself by hand and now handled over to WordPress some years ago. And I had my first talk at the WP Vienna group 3.5 years ago, and I'm glad to help a little bit with the WP Vienna thing, I think 3 times. So, but this is not this important thing. The important thing is to talk about page builders, and I will start with my presentation and want to go with this. So, as Martin asked me to talk about Elementor, and he knows me, and he also knows that I like to hear myself talking, I asked him how long should it be, and he was so fast in his answer. He told about just 15 minutes. So I recognized this and I doubled it to 30 minutes, and then I said, no, let's try to do it in another way. And so I tried to give you an answer about Elementor at a glance in just 15 questions, and I want to tell you, ask you or ask me 15 questions and give you some answers about this. I will not show you how to use Elementor. So if you want to get experienced with this, just install it and try it out. I think it's not so interesting how to drag and drop things and how to fill out forms and something like that, but then maybe I have some other answers for you. So the first and the most important question, and I'm saying Thomas Kraftner is not here, but he's one of the big opponents of page builders, and he was will this thing, the software do with my data. And you see on the right side on the screen, you see the very fresh WordPress installation and the basic example page. And I go to edit it with Elementor and just put one headline in it. And as you can see in the down half, I put the keyword Hundeknochen in it. And all things, what Elementor will do with your data will be stored in the post meta table. So if we take a look inside the database and the example page has the ID number 2, we see on the right side there are some items with Elementor in front of it. And this is what Elementor do. And on the left side, we can see the content of the post itself on the WP posts. And there you can see there is just an H2, Hundeknochen H2 closing. So this means Elementor will add information to the post meta table. This means also that the content itself is safe, even is on disabling Elementor. So you can see the example before, I've just disabled the Elementor and we left the H2, of course, in another design, because all Elementor design is lost, but the content itself is safe. So the second question, and we talked about the price, is do I here really have to buy a pro license? Elementor started its business, I think sort of 5 years ago, as a page builder and developed to a tool that, let's call it site builder. And you see on the right side the table comparing the free and the paid version. And there are, for me, in my work, there are 2 things that are really important. The one thing is the complex of functions they call theme builder. And the other thing is the features about dynamic content and custom fields. You can see on the bottom a lot of other features. They're more or less useful. So in my mind, I don't need a lot of motion effects, and I really hate the pop-up things, but sometimes I'm also using a pop-up. So this is only included in the Pro version. So with the Pro version, you got a site builder tool, and the most important thing is the theme builder. And this means you don't need another theme anymore. You can just take the Hello Elementor theme. This is, of course, it's free, and it's a very bare bones theme. There's just nothing in it, just a few cones of CSS, and that's it. So depending on the plan you choose, you get a really lot of useful stuff for your project or for all of your projects. It starts with $49 US now, and depending on your needs, you will find a cool plan. So as told you, we need no theme. So how the hell should this work? So we have all is about blocks. And if you take the term of block and substitute it to element, it's just the same. So if we can talk about blocks or talk about elements, it's almost the same thing. And the special thing about the theme builder is that we can define some special blocks or elements and put them some conditions on it. And there are 7 or 9 types of templates or blocks or elements that cover the screen. And we have a simple idea of an header. We have a footer. We have a single post or a single page. We have an archive page. And then we have a search result, which is nothing more or less than a special kind of archive. And we have the 404 page, which is nothing more or less than a single post or page. And if you go into installed WooCommerce, you have single product and product archive also. So with this block types, you can fill the screen with all theme features by defining this simple templates you use for this. So my thing is to go to the Hello Elementor theme. I know there is the Astra theme and the Ocean WP, very popular, but they uses the theme functions like the customizer to get some presets and so on. And I like to do this all inside Elementor. In the future, and this was the question in the talk before, is Gutenberg, will Gutenberg go this way? I think so. I think the idea of themes is an ending one, but at the moment we need themes. So let's go into, is there a central setting area or do I have to use customizer? So we have a central setting area now, and there are site settings we can use and we don't need to go to the customizer. And if you look at my hands, 2 left thumbs, so I don't want to go with the customizer. I don't want to use this thing. And the site settings are a very great way to get a consistent web design. And Elementor divided them into 3 sections. The first they call design system. There you can define your global colors and your global fonts. The second is the things they call theme style. There you can define your typography, and in this typography you can select your global colors or your global fonts you've defined in your design system. In this part you can also define your basic designs of buttons for pictures and your form fields. And the last setting area is called settings. And there you can find things to put your logo in and the backgrounds. And the most important thing is the layout section where you can set the mobile breakpoints and the container width and something like that. So, and using this site settings rocks. So you can start to define some global colors and fonts, define your typography, go to the form field and then set your mobile breakpoints and your layout width. And then you can add some custom fonts and custom icons in an own section of settings. So you can go really very individual in the same way in each of your projects. So if we talk about design, have we go from the scratch or can we go with templates out of the box? And there are a huge number of complete pages or maybe sites with different pages with complete layouts filled in with dummy data. They are really, the complete pages are great to learn from, but you have also predefined blocks. And these blocks are very useful to work with them. So you have easy to use elements, and in the screenshot you see the contact blocks collection, and this could be very productive. You can say, okay, I want this or that style, and you see they are always in black and white, and you can add your custom preferred colors and fonts and something like that, and you can go very fast to your individual design. And these are the blocks, they are listed here. They are prepared for you, starting with the four page and go till the testimonials at the end. So using provided templates and creating your own helps to get a consistent website very fast. And this is the reason why you can save your own templates out of each section on your page or the design. And this is able to export or import them. So you can make your own storage system for your templates or your own very professional design way for collecting the things. So, and what's about the responsive design? It is very easy to build responsive websites with Elementor, and it's easy to build working responsive websites with Elementor. So just remember the setting section, the layout, and then you can define your breakpoints individual, or you can go with the prepared one. In responsive options can be found all over the Elementor interface. You can see on the right side screenshots for some posts, and you can define different number of columns for desktop, tablet, or mobile view. This is very typical use of responsive designs. Most widgets will offer possibilities to fit your content to the chosen viewpoint. Even in the settings, you can go to the settings and the typography and set for the H1 maybe 60 pixels for desktop, but 40 pixels for mobile if you want to go with pixels. And this is what you can go all over the Elementor. So the responsive presets are quite okay, but okay isn't not even enough. So you have to think responsive from start in your design process, and then optimize your design up to the top level elements. So start with the settings, responsive, and thinking about up to the pictures at the top. So, and if we talk about the design, we have to talk about CSS, how to add my own CSS. I know in this audience there are pros, and the pros love to do some CSS stuff because they are able to do this. And so in Elementor, you have 3 levels where you can add your own CSS. And the top level is the level of the widget itself. You can see in the screenshot, you can go the very traditional way and set an idea and can go to the own CSS section in this widget and put in this CSS what you want to define, or you can just type in each widget you have inserted the magic word selector, and then this widget you are editing is designed by your CSS. The second level is the CSS level of the page. So you can define for each page or for each post own CSS if you want to. And the basic level is at the settings, as we mentioned at the start. You can give some CSS definition to all your pages and posts. So adding your own CSS is possible, but to be honest, that in most cases we do not need this. So if you can't or don't want to add CSS to your design, you can go to the design process via your widgets, and to work with Elementor, you don't need to know about CSS. Of course, as always, it's helpful. What if I need to put custom code in? Is this possible? And the good answer is yes. But it's about February this year, just 3 months ago, we get our own section for custom codes, and it's in the available via the dashboard, and you can set there your code things, and you can define if your code has to disappear in the head, in the body top or body bottom, and then you can give it a priority number, so you can make more than one code snippets for your head on each page. And with the own code, you can reduce the number of plugins you need for your page. And the great thing is you can set conditions to this. You can say, okay, this Google Analytics code should be everywhere, but for another code, I only want this code only for my shop pages or for something like that. So the conditions will help you to organize your own code snippets within the Elementor system. Another most important thing are forms, and the Elementor comes within just the Pro version within own form system. But it's no problem to use your common plugins like Custom Form 7 or Gravity Forms, and you can go to use them with shortcode. There's an shortcode widget, or you can use text widgets to put them in or something like this. The Elementor form system itself offers some quite nice features. They offer multi-step form. They integrate reCAPTCHAs. You can add multiple form actions like email, go send a pop-up, send the user to a webhook. And one great new thing is the collect submission feature, which is new in Elementor 3.2, I think. With this feature, all form submissions are collected within the database of Elementor. And the great thing is you not only find the data from your customer, you can see on which pages this form has filled out and sent to you. If great thing if you have customers that say, but I never got this email, and you can say, but this email was sent to you, so you are a little bit safe, and it's no bad idea to collect this. So in my mind, the Elementor form system will cover over 95% of your needs. So in this example here on the right side, you see a form, a simple form, which will send out an email and then pop up a small modal window with a thank you for your subscription or thank you for your question, something like that. I mentioned the collection of form data submission before. So if we talk about dynamic, we can must think about how is done dynamic content. And as you see, right, there is a small symbol, and if you click on this, the text box will change to a dynamic selection, and then you can fill in something like put in not a title, but the title of this post or something like that, or please fill in now the actual data and something like that. Elementor supports dynamic text and dynamic content from WordPress itself, but it also supports ACF toolset and pods in its widgets. So showing dynamic attributes is done by choosing its type. On the right side, you see some demo screenshots. This is a pop-up done, and you see, for example, this is the top fourth, right? It was a post, was the data was done at 24th of September, and the screenshot was done on 1st March this year for this demo. And you see, we can see the website tagline, we can see the post categories and the post time or something like that integrated in our design. Of course, this is not very useful and very senseful in this way, but maybe in another. And so you see here now a demo with an ACF field with an article number, and we get this product number displayed in our template by choosing the dynamic icon on the right top of the field, and then selecting the ACF field, select the key of this field, and then we get the number displayed in our template. So one important thing, of course, are archives, and how are they implemented in Elementor. The thing is, the free version will not support archives. The good news is there are free third-party plugins to do this. So if you don't want to pay for Elementor, you can use the archive function, just like maybe you can get the PostGrid Elementor add-on, or there are more than one suites of and collections of more features and widgets, and there are archive functions in it. So it's important to know that archives are used in WordPress always, even if you don't think about it at the moment. You will publish one post, there is automatic edit category, and within category there is an archive page. So please take care about and design your archive pages. In the widgets section, you can find the archive posts and the portfolio widgets, and you see on the right side a really huge number of possibilities to customize these presetted functions. So you can show your blog posts and the media and the build proportions, and show the title, don't show the title, show some metadata, don't show the metadata, show the link for read more, and nothing, stuff like this. So you can customize it very well. So, and one another question is, do I need Gutenberg anymore? And the answer is maybe, but it's a very good idea to combine the Gutenberg editor with the Elementor. Why? Because not everyone wants to do such stuff like editing layouts and something like this. So you see the posting here is a simple, very simple first post, and I've added just a picture and one line of text in the Gutenberg editor. And then open this thing with Elementor and editing it. You can see there are some different widgets used. You can use the post title, the featured image widget, and there is the post content widget, where you can add all the Gutenberg stuff we can see in the window above is displayed now. So it's always a good idea to think about the structure before you start a project, and you can use the Elementor as a design container, and with this widget you displayed here, you can do it. So another important thing is the shop. So if you need a shop, should I use Elementor or not? Elementor collects a number of widgets they call WooCommerce Builder, and there are 19 widgets for this application. So in the right side, you see the list of these widgets. If you use this, you can build all the basic stuff of your job, but at least the front. So if you want to go deeper into and will design the cart page, the checkout page, and something like this, you could go to another third party. And in the last week, played around with the Elementor plugin, and this is quite great. And maybe you will have to go with stuff like Germanizing or something else for the German market. So going to WooCommerce is possible with Elementor, but I think for really a good experience, you have to add something more. For a small shop, it's okay, and if it's not important how the checkout page looks like, you don't need to do this, of course. So we all know software has traps. Which do you know? Um, there is a lot of light, and of course there are some shadows behind these lights. And the most important thing to know is about the Elementor system. It's under development, it's under fast development, it's changing very, very often. If you put your auto update on, you will get an update each week or each 2 weeks for the Elementor thing. So the change is the constant in the Elementor biotop. So this is a small list for traps. The most annoying thing is you can use the settings, but you cannot export or import the settings. You can export, import templates, and then all of this stuff in the JSON file, but the setting itself is not possible to export at the moment. One thing is, if you use the form things, just go to your fill good ideas into for each field, but also for the form itself, that you can recognize which part of your form is this. If you go to translate it in multi-language things and have some ACF repeater fields and WPML, don't do this. Just find another solution. They are natural enemies. If you use the template system and you use the prepared pages, just for learn about this, they will copy all the media data into your media library, and you have cleaned out your library by hand. So they will find a lot of pictures to say where are they from. So you have to go there and put them out of your library. One of the most annoying thing is the translation thing, even in German. And I called it Lebe einfach mit more than one language in a dialogue. So you can find a lot of dialogues with mixed language. This is not so rare. If you, the widget names, they are not the best, even in German. So it's a little bit confusing. And if you have a complex SVG files, keep them simple. If you use them as icons, I have some problems with this. So we always know the biggest problems are in front of the screen. And you see right here, one of these translation widgets. The left one is the name of the site, and the right one, Seitentitel, is the name of the page. So in my mind, the Elementor doesn't fit all projects. Very complex websites are still remain to be challenging. So the last question today is, why you didn't show one of those widgets in detail? Why? Because the reason is, in my mind, you have first to imagine the design you want to create. And then the second step, you can look for the tools to realize your vision. So good web design is not done by playing with the possibilities of widgets or by finding some cool templates. So go back to your pen and scribble it out by hand, and then try to realize it with your thing. But of course, there are good descriptions. You can find detailed information for each widget on the Elementor page itself. And the other thing is, on my homepage, which is listed here, I have at the moment, I think, 14 articles about working with Elementor. And to be honest, I have to mention some widgets. This new is a great PayPal button. You can use it to make a simple donation page or something else. This is a brand new widget I like very much. Then I like the text part widget, where you can put your text in a line and change their anchor, or put the text around the path or something like that. This is great. And it's just for, if you use it gentle and simple, it could be very fine. One new widget which is great is the code highlight widget. So if you want to publish about HTML, JavaScript, or codes like this, you find a very good set on prepaid design for a technical block. And one widget which is really great is the table of contents widget, where you can customize all your content of your page, and you can select, just take the H2 of them and make them a link and something like that. Table of contents, which is really good. So, and was the thing. One thing I want to tell you, which is definitely out of topic now. don't forget your vaccination.